How's it going, everybody? This is Blister from Less Than Epic coming at you with another classic WoW video. As many of you know, we've been in the beta, we've been playing it for a few weeks now, and we've been having an absolute blast. And while we've been going through and playing through some of this older stuff that we haven't done in over 10 years, we've come up with a list of a whole bunch of different things that we weren't expecting when we were getting back into the game. Some of it we knew, but some of these things we weren't expecting, and it was a really nice surprise for us. So today I want to talk to you guys about what to expect from Classic WoW. Before we get into what we want to tell you guys what to expect from Classic, this isn't going to have everything that you should be expecting. There are going to be things that we're going to be leaving out, not on purpose, but because they weren't necessarily things that we thought of when we were actually playing the beta, or from the time we spent in-game over 10 years ago when we played this. So without any further ado, let's start getting into this. So the first thing we want to talk about is the time commitment. Now, when WoW first came out, it was known for it to be a casual person's MMO. And now when we think of a casual person's MMO, we think of retail WoW, or things like maybe Final Fantasy, or other games like that, where MMOs really aren't a hardcore games anymore. Yeah, you have those hardcore players, but you don't need to be hardcore to enjoy the game like you used to have to be for MMOs. WoW was known to be the first MMO that was really a casual MMO. But when you compare it to what retail is now, Classic WoW doesn't look like a casual MMO because of the time commitment required just to enjoy the game fully. So there are these different parts of the time commitment, and we're going to break them down into different pieces. The first part of this is all, related around characters and your character progression, but it's going to be very different for your first character as it will be with your second character, especially if you get that first character all the way up to cap and you have an effective gold farm to be able to funnel gold, to funnel greens, funnel blues to your alt to be able to help them level up. You can't underestimate how important greens are in Classic just to help level up from 1 to 60. So yeah, first character is going to be completely different than your second, third, fourth, and so on. The biggest time commitment is going to be for your leveling. Leveling takes a long time, but it's very rewarding because of all the different ways that you have character progression. You're going to experience a great sense of satisfaction when you level up. You're going to get a new talent point every level starting at level 10, and that one talent point is going to make you feel stronger. So expect that to be something exciting and something to look for. You're going to be actually going to your class trainer and getting new skills every 2 levels. Weapon skills are also something that you're going to feel a sense of progression with your character. As you're leveling up, every time you level, you get 5 more points that fill out in that skill bar. Just like you do with a profession, you can go from 155 to 160. When you ding again, you're going from 160, 165. It's a small piece of progression, character progression, but it still feels rewarding. And the last piece of the character progression is the item upgrades. It can't be I've already said this. Greens are extremely important when you're leveling up. When I was in the beta, I had a rogue that had a level 12 chest piece all the way up until level 26, 27. And then I finally got a new green, and it was a huge upgrade. And it felt so good just to get that item. You cannot underestimate the importance of greens in Classic, especially when you're a melee class and you're looking at using weapons. Like upgrading your weapon is huge. So item upgrades, a huge part of character progression. Another piece of the time commitment is raids, and not just the raids themselves, but the prep. So be expecting to spend a lot of times in raids and a lot of time to invest before raids in the days leading up to raids to prepare for the raids, getting all your reagents for your flasks, for your potions, getting all your cloth for first aid, all those kind of things. It's going to be a huge time commitment, but it's going to be well worth it, trust me. Something else that I didn't even think about until we actually got into the beta, but it's a huge time commitment, is just traveling throughout the world. You don't have portals to get you from A to B to Z. You have to actually run. Yes, there's flight paths, but if I wanted to go to Brill and I was in Undercity, I can't take a bat. I have to run all the way to Brill. It's things like that that just, it makes the world feel so much bigger and so much more immersive. It's just great. And weapon training is going to be a big part of that traveling too. If you start an undead, you're going to have to be going to Undercity to train for some weapon skills. You're going to have to go to Orgrimmar to train some more, and then to Thunderbluff for some more. When I started my alt, when I hit level 12, I think it was, I went to Undercity, I did my training there. I hopped over to Orgrimmar, did my training there, then I ran all the way to Thunderbluff just so that way I can knock all of that out, picked up the flight paths, and then went back to Brill and continued my questing. The last piece of traveling that's going to take up a lot of time is just traveling to get to instances. Some instances are way out of the way. Like if you're an Alliance player trying to go do Scarlet Monastery, that can take quite a bit of time to get to, especially if you don't have a mount. If you're playing Horde and you're trying to get to Gnomeregan, that's going to take a long time to get to. So just a lot of time commitment. And the last piece of the time commitment is PvP. PvP didn't have that time constraint of 10-15 minutes per battleground. You didn't have your resources in Alterac Valley. I was in a Warsong Gulch the other night that lasted almost an hour and a half. When was the last time you were in a battleground that lasted more than 30 minutes? I'd really like to know. So that's all we got for time commitment, but expect time commitment to be a big part of what you need to expect going into Classic, especially if you're used to modern MMOs where everything is done so casually. The next piece is professions, and again, you could actually kind of loop this into time commitment because professions are a commitment and it does take quite a bit of time to level them up, especially if you're not leveling them up while you're leveling. But I would highly suggest leveling them up while you're leveling, especially doing a gathering and then a crafting, so that way they can work hand in hand and it's going to help you level up tremendously. If you're not having any luck with quests and getting good greens, you might actually be able to craft something that's going to be an upgrade from the questing gear you get, and it's going to be huge. It's going to help you tremendously as you go out into the world and do your quests, as you go to dungeons, as you go into PvP situations. It's going to be very helpful, so make sure you actually work on those professions as you're leveling up. Not only is it going to help yourself with questing and with PvP and all that sorts of stuff, it's also going to help you with money. If you pick a lucrative enough profession and you put enough time and effort into it, you can actually make a decent amount of money as you're leveling up with your professions. This isn't the case for all professions, but it is something that you can definitely do. Enchanters can make quite a bit of money if they spend their extra time working on those enchants and then they go to, for an hour or 45 minutes, whatever it may be. As the game is starting, people are going to be looking for those lower level enchants that are around level 200. So you can make a decent amount of money just doing stuff like that on the launch of Classic. So make sure you don't forget about that. And the last part of professions that I found myself doing more than I thought I would was just giving away items that I was just going to vendor, because I knew if I went to the auction house, I wasn't going to get much more silver for it, or in some cases gold, but in most cases silver. So if I had a green shoulder and I knew it sold for a vendor for 15 silver, and I was only going to get 17 to 20 silver off the auction house, a lot of times I would see somebody walking around without his shoulder pads on that could use it, and I just open trade and give them to them. That's part of the Classic community, being friendly, helpful. It's a wonderful thing, and hopefully everybody watching this will pitch in with this same behavior, and we can all build up the community to be as great as we remember it. Now, the next item on our list is solo versus group play. In my time in the beta so far, I haven't had many friends that actually have beta access, so I haven't been going out of my way to group up with people, to go and do quests, to go and do dungeons and things like that. I've just been kind of playing it kind of as a solo person experience, but even in that, I'm grouping up with people 3, 4, 5 times a night outside of raid, dungeon, and PvP situations. Just, I'll be in the world doing a quest, there'll be 2 other people there, I shoot them invites, they shoot me an invite, we do the quest together, we say thanks guys for the help, and then we go on our separate ways. Then 20 minutes later, the three of us are in the same area again. So we group back up, we start doing the quest, then we finish and go our separate ways again. It happens so much that it really makes it almost really hard to play Classic as a single player when so many people are going out of their way to make questing easier for themselves and for you. I was doing some quests in Thousand Needles and all of a sudden I get an invite. It was Bajira. Like, you get invited from anybody and everybody just because it's going to help them and it's going to help you. And it doesn't matter the type of quest that you're doing either. It could be killing the 10 of these guys. It could be collecting 10 of this thing. It could be killing named mobs. A lot of the times you'll see somebody tag a named mob, see that you're standing there waiting for that same mob, and all of a sudden you'll get an invite. It's great to see that the community is reacting like this and they understand it, and they're going out of their way to make sure that other people can have as enjoyable of an experience as possible without Blizzard having to get involved. More things on the community aspect of that is bags. There were so many tailors just saying, hey, give me 6 linen cloth and I'll make you a free bag. Or, you know, give me the wool cloth and the thread or whatever it is, and I'll make you the 8 slot bags. Or even buffs. So many people just go out of their way to give you a fortitude as they're running by, or give you a Mark of the Wild as they're running by. The community has been great, and it's so awesome to see the community get back into a game and actually feel like there's a community. People are talking, people are grouping up, things that I would never see in retail anymore. And it's just fantastic to see that it's back in WoW, and WoW is finally returning to what it should have always been like. And the last little bit that I want to just talk about real quick is just expect the unexpected. There's been a lot of things that I didn't remember or slipped my mind maybe that I knew was a thing, but it didn't dawn on me until I was playing the beta, and it hit me like a brick wall, but in a good way. You know what I mean? Like the traveling to get your weapon skills. Like, sure, it's annoying, but when I actually get to Thunderbluff to train for my mace skills, it feels amazing. It feels so satisfactory to go all the way out there to get that and train that. It feels so good to actually get that. The people giving you free gear, the people giving you bags, all of that kind of stuff. Just stuff that I didn't expect, and it's just made the game so much better. So I really do think that you all should expect the unexpected, especially if you've never played the game before. Just go out, have some fun. Just know there's going to be a time commitment if you want to do anything important in that game, but it's going to be well worth it, guys. That's all we got for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up. We are going to be streaming quite a bit more of this beta. The level cap just got up to 40 this past week, so we're going to be leveling all the way up to 40 now. We're going to do it on a different tune, though. We're not going to keep going on the first rogue we made. I think I'm going to continue on the second rogue that I made. So it's still going to be a rogue, and we're still going to be going to 40. So look forward to that. We're going to be streaming on YouTube. We're not going to be streaming much on Twitch anymore, but we're going to be focusing on YouTube. So make sure you hit us up if you guys want to see some of that. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, it's Ratted here. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe as well. It really helps out the channel. We put out multiple new videos each week, and we appreciate all of your support. Thanks for watching, everyone, and cheers.